Joining us now is Sheitan Atigarin with stories trending around the world. Hello, Sheitan.
Hello, Doctor.
Good to have you back on the show.
Good to see you. It's so good to see you. Rufai, I'm really excited to be here this morning, especially because today's the last day of the year, of course.
Yes. Okay.
Hi, Rufai.
Okay.
Let's kick off what's trending today with a story befitting for the last day of the year. President Donald Trump and former First Lady Michelle Obama are the most admired man and woman of 2020, according to a new Gallup poll. It's the first time Trump has topped the list alone, ending a 12-year run by his predecessor, Barack Obama, with whom he tied for most admired in 2019. For Michelle Obama, it's her third straight year as the most admired woman in America. For Trump, the title reflects in part this enduring popularity among Republicans, even after a turbulent year in which he was impeached, widely criticized for his administration's handling of the coronavirus pandemic, racial tensions, and of course, the lost re-election. Barack Obama came in second among men at 15%. President-elect Joe Biden came in with 6%, and Dr. Anthony Fauci, America's top infectious disease expert, came in fourth with 3%. Pope Francis, Bernie Sanders, and Bill Gates were also among the most admired men on the list. For most admired woman, Michelle Obama received 10% of the votes. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris followed closely with 6%, and First Lady Melania Trump came in third place with 4%. Now, it seems as if this poll is mostly situated around the White House. I mean, we do have other names on there, but it's interesting to see Trump taking over from Barack Obama after 12 years in a year like 2020, where he was in the news a lot for probably not a lot of positive stories.
Look at that. President Trump finally won, but it's not the U.S. elections. Congratulations to him. Well, you have to give it to President Trump. He's been able to build and establish this image of the president who is cleaning up Washington, the president of the common man, the president of law and order, and, his supporters who are fierce and, very strong. I mean, the election results also show he garnered the second highest vote ever since. They do not look beyond this image he has created to actually see that sometimes he does the complete opposite of the image he has built and is trying to show them. But you have rightly said, this Gallup poll is also centered around party lines. So whilst a lot of Republicans went for President Trump, Democrats went for President Barack Obama. I think it was a 48% of the Republicans for President Trump and 32% Democrats went for Barack Obama. And that's why I think that even though the elections have been done and dusted, President-elect Joe Biden has a tough job ahead to truly unify a divided America. Definitely. But congratulations to President Trump.
Yes.
Well, I'm not too sure that prizes are given for being declared the most admired person in the United States. But as you said, this was the samples that were taken, random sample of about 375 persons, or even less, through phone calls. So, if you look at the methodology, is it representative enough? But the big takeaway for President Trump is the fact that he recorded the second highest number of votes in the history of the American presidential election, just behind President Biden. And that probably accounts, it's an indication of the fact that he has a very strong base, not even just among Republicans, but also conservatives. There are many polling agencies in the United States and elsewhere. And this particular Gallup poll, they do management consulting, they do the Gallup World Poll, they predict elections. So oftentimes they are not always accurate. They got it wrong in 1976 when they called the election for Gerald Ford. They thought it was Gerald Ford that would win. They got it wrong in 1948 when they predicted that Thomas Dewey would win, and beat Truman in that election. And they got it wrong in 2012 when they said, Mitt Romney was more popular than Barack Obama. So, but you have this. It's a popularity contest. It's a form of endorsement, I also guess. But maybe if some other people were to do another form of sampling, it may bring a different result. But
yeah.
I think that with regard to President Trump, what is more important, what we should be looking forward to, is what legacy is he leaving behind? Because he has been one of the most divisive, presidents in American history. Will that legacy of divisiveness, will he continue? And how will he conduct himself out of office when there is another party in power and there is another president in power? So these are things we should think ahead about. As for the Obamas, both President Obama and Michelle Obama, they are two of the most popular people in the United States. And then it's good to see Anthony Fauci on the list and also Joe Biden. But, it's not something you need to be sentimental about. But let's take a short break. When we return, the morning show will continue. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Still with us, with stories trending from around the world, is Sheitan Atigarin.
Okay, Doctor. So our next story today comes out... Rufai, don't worry, I'm coming to you. Our next story today comes out of Dublin, Ireland, where a 15-second video showing how a 27-year-old Nigerian Irishman identified as George Inkecho was shot dead by Irish police in Cloney, Co-Dublin, has surfaced online. Inkecho's shooting and subsequent death has since sparked outrage as Nigerians residents in the country have started mounting protests to demand justice for his killing. An ambulance came to the scene and paramedics performed CPR before taking George to Connolly Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Several of his family members who were living in the house have been taken to another location. The shooting scene has been sealed off and an investigation is underway where the police has been alerted to stay in line with standard procedure. So let's just take sound from that and then we'll come back and talk real quick.
Fauci. Fauci.
I mean, it's a very short video, but I mean, if you take your time to look at it, you can see there are about 15 policemen who responded. So it's still very early on in the investigation. But I think what people are looking at is the amount of force just to comprehend one man. Did you really need that amount of people? And it's the same thing that we keep seeing over and over again, where African Americans, in this case, a Nigerian and an Irish descent as well, is being targeted. Of course, forceful arrest, and at the end of the day, he was even killed. And there's been a push online to see that the police officers that are responsible are reprimanded and justice is served in this. So Rufai, please, let's talk about this video.
This is quite very sad, and I think new investigation needs to be made about what happened, and when it's made, justice should be done. And real quickly, I know we have a diaspora commission in this country. I want Madam Abike Dabiri to swing into action. By now, we should go up guns blazing. If we have a consulate around there, we should write the Irish police force to ask for an independent investigation into this, what happened. Nigerian nationals should not be killed anywhere in the world. And this is becoming one too many. And the sad part is cases like this are swept under the carpet. I'm excited that we're bringing light to this. That was how many years ago in Dubai, the son of Aisha Falade, famous sports journalist, was killed. And we need justice as regards this. We need to investigate properly, know the context of the matter, and justice should be meted out. That's one. Secondly, I'll talk about Gallup. 1935, George Gallup started his polls, as many other polls in America, Ipsos Mori and the like, and other polling companies. But polls are always skewed. Polls deal with three things. Number one, sample size. Sample size is incumbent on how many people you are surveying at a particular point in time. So if it's over 300 or something people over a telephone poll without any proper description of the kind of sample and the data, then it has a right to be skewed in the long run. So there are many things that affect a polling system and how skewed or not skewed the polling system is. It's just like what they say about New York Times bestseller books. It's always determined by about 5 or 6 bookstores in New York that have sold about 1,000 copies of a particular book. So that's just to show you how skewed that analysis is, just like this polling too. And when you look at it critically, those people might like Trump, the people that were sampled. It doesn't mean that particularly Trump is not popular. He is quite popular. In fact, I say something that will live with America for the long run after Trump goes is Trumpism. And it's evident. Trump single-handedly has used his popularity to make new networks. When he had a fallout with Fox News, there's another network called Newsmax. Trump has increased their number tremendously. Now, because Trump himself tweeted, oh, watch OAN and Newsmax, those are the channels that represent me. So he's quite popular. But it doesn't mean that Gallup poll is valid, is skewed, and it has a specific sample size. And even, I would also like to see even the data analysis itself. But it doesn't change the fact that, yeah, popularity contests here and there, polls, they are constantly around the world, but it doesn't change anything. I mean, at some point in Germany, just after President Heidenberg took over, when Hitler was deputy, there was a point Hitler used to be one of the most popular men in Germany, and we know how that ended. In fact, Hitler's Mein Kampf was given as a marriage present by the states to married people in Germany.
Okay.
But we all know how disastrous Hitler became. So congrats to Trump. Anyway, I have nothing against him, but polls are always skewed sometimes.
Yes, definitely. But let's move on to a different story now. Here in Nigeria. Well,
you don't want us to comment on this Irish story?
We do have just 10 minutes to go, and we have 2 more stories. So, Doctor, we can talk about it, but we have one more story.
You don't want the story to be commented upon. Don't bring it.
Well, let's quickly take that.
Let's quickly talk about that then.
Okay. No, go ahead.
No, the man in Dublin.
Go ahead.
Doctor.
Just pulling your legs.
Okay. The 3rd biggest rice mill in the world is nearing completion in Lagos. The Imota mill will also become the largest in sub-Saharan Africa, with 2.5 million bags of 50 kilograms of rice produced annually. About 800 farmers in Lagos have been engaged to support the rice paddy supply from Kebbi in the northwest of Nigeria. Nigerians have been reacting to the news. Let's take a look at some of the tweets. Success there says, Lake Rice to the world. We told them Lagos alone is enough to be called a nation, a center for excellence for that matter. Moving on, Simplex says, good development from my Lagos, maybe for proper monitoring and sustainability. It's better it's devolved of political involvement by the state, but engage private investors to manage it. The last tweet there reads, drove past this mill one day and I can say it's well located and will bring development to Imota, Ikorodu people and Nigerians in general. So, Doctor, do you think that this rice mill, which is supposedly the 3rd biggest in the world, that is situated here in Lagos, what does this mean for Lagosians and Nigerians as a whole?
Well, only a few days ago, the president was talking about food security and food self-sufficiency and how the government is going to target, food inflation in the year 2021. Before then, the government also talked, after reopening 4 borders, the government said, look, rice will not be allowed to be imported into Nigeria because you have, trailer loads of rice being brought into the country and affecting local production and discouraging innovation within the country. Now, this 3rd biggest rice mill in Imota, of course, it will create jobs. Mm-hmm. It will help to promote that objective of ensuring sufficiency, or if you like, in rice production. And you will recall that Governor Bagudu of Kebbi State the other day was saying that, look, 7 states in the country have been able to ensure sufficiency in rice production. And we queried that because we were concerned about some of the natural incidents that occurred around Kebbi and Yobe and the implications of that. But this, is a big addition to the effort to ensure rice sufficiency. But which private company is behind this, or is it the state government? You didn't mention that.
No, so what it is, that was actually going to be my next question to you, because someone did even mention that it should be managed by private companies as opposed to the state government. Is that something that maybe they should look into, Do we trust that they can run this without letting like corruption seep in, and then we just find out that eventually this rice mill becomes degraded, so to speak?
Well, we expect that they should be able to run it. That's why I asked you. I don't know what the pattern is.
The Lagos State government.
Yes, is it Lagos State government in partnership with, some private stakeholders? But whatever it is, we expect that, when it gets on stream, it will be sustained. It will not be a white elephant project because of the strategic, value in terms of how it will create jobs and also achieve the objective of food security. And we hope that, the end of it will be making the food available to Nigerians and that it will not be sold at a high cost. Because even now, with the sufficiency in rice production that we've been told, people still say a bag of rice is still a bit expensive.
A bit high, yes.
But all of this is a process. We don't expect magic to happen overnight.
What about you?
Congratulations to the Lagos State government. I recall that last year when I interviewed the then Commissioner for Agriculture in the state, who had now become a traditional ruler in the state, he had said that the rice mill was about 80% complete. They took over from the Ambode administration when it was 35%. So it's gratifying to know that this is one of the few times we see government sustaining projects by previous administration. Yes. And Dr. Abati has said it's food sufficiency because Lagos, as we know it, is full of water. So it's more into aquatic farming than you would have, rice farm or any other farming here. And they're able to maximize this in collaboration with, I think it's a PPE project. I do not have the details. And so, yes, I would like to see cheaper.
Yes, definitely. This is great. Rufai.
I mean, real quickly, so I have a lot of questions. Good one, congratulations, but I have a lot of questions. What are the terms of the project? Is it a PPE? Is it a loan? What is it really? Because we need to know, because are there any payback clauses? What is it really? We need to be able to know all of those details. Secondly, how are you going to pay the people that will bring in the paddy, the farmers that will bring the paddy? Are you going to be paying them monthly? Are they going to deposit their paddy over a period of time, 6 or 7 months? How are you going to be able to effectively get paddy to fill up that, metric tonnage of what it can take? The environmental impact assessment in Imota community. They said it will create 250,000 jobs. Are these direct jobs? What kind of jobs? Is it middle income jobs?
Well, as they say, Rufai, the devil is in the details.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't imagine that they will set up such a project in a community and they will not have done EIA, which is, standard requirement. But thank you very much, Sheiton.